Oh, welcome into Chatt It Up Sports. Football is awesome. Just want to say that first and foremost, boys. This is wonderful. We have a wonderful guest in the house. The man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Schumpert of Rocky Top Insider will be joining us. The reason football is awesome is just when you think college football is going to give you like a relatively down week, the good Lord gives you a gift and says, here's some awesome games. And then the NFL is like, we got you all day Sunday. And here we are. We're going to talk some Vols with Ryan on the Vols side because Thursday we'll have the Georgia side well taken care of. But first, Drew, hit that theme music. Welcome back. We have a full slate tonight, fellas. But to my right, Joseph Guthrie on this side of the cameras tonight. Welcome back, buddy.
I know. I'm fresh, camera facing. Doesn't feel as rare as it used to be with the instant reaction shows now on Saturday nights. Shout out Drew behind the camera there. But it feels good to be in the chair.
I'm glad to have you. Yeah. A man that's going to be in front of the camera more than we ever thought.
Twice as much now, actually.
Would that be 2.5? Because he has a show 3 days a week.
3 days a week, fellas.
3 days a week. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Malcolm Harris.
What's up?
Freightwave's finest.
What's up, fellas?
And then the man up north of Rocky Top Insider, the favorite cover of all the Vols beat writers, Ryan Schumpert. 3 claps one time, fellas.
I was off.
What's up, gentlemen? How we doing?
That's on me, boys.
Great,
the Derrick
buddy.
Henry fumble.
What up, Shump?
Screwing up the clap. That's on me.
It's okay, but we still love you. Shump, we'll get into some Tennessee Vols, but as we were talking off camera, I want to ask you real quick about the Titans. I don't know if Callahan's a very good coach, but I don't think this team's talented at all. What were your initial thoughts after week 1?
I think the most jarring thing is like all my worst fears seemingly like are going to come true of Cam Ward being really good, but the Titans are going to ruin him. Like, I think that's the macro of it is he wasn't perfect, but he played pretty well in some tough confines of some bad drops, typical bad offensive line play, and some poor coaching decisions. So yeah, the Callahan thing's tough. That was pretty brutal. I mean, I had such low expectations for the game. I mean, Denver's supposed to be really good. Their defense is definitively really good playing on the road. But as the Titans will do, they made me upset even in a game where I had pretty low expectations.
Yeah, I did feel like a chance to sneak one out. It's like, this Broncos team, whenever you get all the hype of the early season about being the sneaky best team in the conference, they're going to overtake the Chiefs, yada, yada, yada. We all heard the same storylines. I like Bo Nix, but I also thought, this is a week 1, weird matchups happen in the NFL. Let's go get one. And there were opportunities. Whenever I'm telling myself, Cam Ward, you probably need to take a little heat off those balls because your receivers can't catch them. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. I don't know how many seam routes do you guys think they dropped?
Oh my God, at least 6. At least. It was egregious.
Yeah.
The shot of Cam Ward's dad was just hilarious.
Everybody went viral.
Leaning over the railways.
God, that camera guy nailed that, didn't he?
He did.
Golly, I was like, get that boy a pay raise. He crushed it with that. I know it's tough to play in Denver. And again, they covered, they did all the right things. Like it's a part of the deal. Like, all right, I kind of expected to lose. I was hoping we'd sneak one out, especially early. I thought the defense was awesome. Shump, what'd you say? This is the first time for the Titans in a turnover differential?
First time for an NFL team to lose a game that they were +3 in the turnover differential since January 2023. So basically 3 seasons.
Yikes.
It's kind of the opposite of the Titans opener last year when they were definitely the better team than the Bears, and Will Levis just kept turning the ball over, and they had a punt blocked and lost. Like, it was the exact opposite, but the Titans were unable to take advantage of it.
It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. It makes me so frustrated because I'm with you. It's like all the worst fears. I'm like, we might have the team that brings him down because if the receivers can't catch, because I bought into the Ridley stuff. Not gonna lie to you guys. I think we talked about that a couple times.
Most definitely.
I bought in the media hype, and I think Schumpert, you have some opinions on that about getting the Calvin Ridley hype too turned up around here. I just thought surely this defense is going to get a little bit better, and it seemed to happen. I just thought we'd have a better receiving core and a guy that gets through the ball so fast that we wouldn't have to worry about a terrible offensive line play. But I guess when you don't have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and usually a decent third wide receiver, that you're not that great of an offensive coordinator.
Turns out it looks a lot harder when you're calling the plays with worse players. Which, like, that goes back to the Callahan thing. Was like my thoughts back at the end of last season when it was like, what are the Titans going to do with all these decisions? I was kind of just like of the opinion of clean house and start over, or let everybody have another year. Like, don't stop doing this wishy-washy thing where we fired a GM one year and then the coach the next year. And we're kind of doing, like, it feels like we did exactly what the Bears did last year, where the Bears had talented rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams. They kept the coach that was on the hot seat, and there were a lot of questions about, and only to have to start over a year later for him in the offense with a new head coach. And that, I don't know, it's just one game. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Callahan will turn it around, but it feels like we are on a collision course for having to do the same thing.
It's exactly what it feels like. So I just really wanted to ask about Titans corner for a minute. I just needed to voice some frustrations early.
Tough. I mean, I imagine between the and Chattanooga, I imagine a pretty good contingent of Titans and Falcons fans. Tough opening Sunday of the NFL season.
Oh my goodness, those Atlanta Falcons, boy, Young Ho Koo, Young Wei, Young Ho, get out the city, brother. I'm done with them. I'm finished. It's over. I really, like, man, I saw a stat in his last 20 kicks, he's 11 for like 20.
That's crazy.
Like, bro, like, what are we doing?
You're playing a dome.
Missing kicks. That's what
he's missing kicks. I mean, hey, but one thing for Drew, brother, Kyle Pitts is back. 7 receptions plus 880. Ask me how I know.
It's not bad.
Ask me how I know.
If he had a little TD next to his name in the stat.
Oh yeah. He didn't get the TD. Ask me how I know.
That's pretty good. That's all right. It's all right. We'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Phoenix looks great too. So that's that's what I've been telling Falcons fans today. Is my solace for them.
Baker looks good in 2-minute offense. I'll give him that.
He is so good.
Baker's cold, dog.
Baker Mayfield is a top 5 quarterback, bro.
Well, hang on.
Whoa.
Like, hang on. No, I'm sorry. I've seen enough.
Can I ask you guys your honest opinion on something?
Yeah.
So last night, obviously, we saw one of the greatest, probably the greatest NFL teams ever, or greatest NFL games ever. When they rolled Lamar out there, they do the PFF ranks.
Yeah.
He was number 1
for sure.
How do y'all feel about that? Should he be number 1?
Yes.
Well, what about 15 in red?
That's nice, man. That's nice 3 years ago.
Didn't they make the Super Bowl last year?
Yeah,
but literally last year.
It's like his week to week, just like Mahomes week to week does not look as good as Lamar or an Allen. But the year-end model shows that Patrick Mahomes is better. It's so weird.
Is it okay? Is it because you feel like when you watch the Ravens that it's Lamar, or like Lamar puts more of the Ravens on his back than Patrick? Because the Chiefs have Spags, they got Chris Jones, you got Travis Kelce. Like, they have other parts of that team, which I know this year it looks like it's might be kind of rough.
Yeah. In all seriousness, I really do think the one thing that Patrick Mahomes needs is the one thing that Tyreek Hill needs. They need each other. They have not looked the same since they have gotten a divorce.
Seeing him on the bench yesterday for the Dolphins, you could tell he's like, yeah, this ain't it.
Yeah,
this ain't it.
So to your point, I do agree.
It's nothing. It's no shade against Lamar. I'm not necessarily saying I disagree with it, because watching what I watched last night, I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody if they argue for it, you're wrong. I'm not. It was just a question. Just because when it flashed across my screen, I was like, interesting. Okay. So I just want to get y'all's thoughts.
It's pretty sweet that we live in a time where the guy that I guess 2 years ago, or actually a year ago, going into the final game, you're like, this guy is going to be the greatest of all time. And then this year we watch week 1 and you're like, well, he might be the third best in the league.
Yeah. Well, it's
maybe fourth conference.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I think at any point, like if you have Lamar 1 right now, 2, 3, and 4 are also in the same conference.
Yeah.
And then there's some weeks, there's a lot of Joe Burrow people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Joe Burrow people.
I think there's some weeks where it is Joe, and there's some weeks where it's Josh, and there's some weeks where it's Lamar, and there's some weeks where it's Patrick. Like, it's just insane how good the quarterback play is.
We are blessed with talent right now, fellas.
This is the best.
The summary is it's really depressing to be a fan of a different AFC team. There's just like such little hope. They're all so good and so young.
How far? Okay, that's a good one. Last thing on the NFL. How far away did you feel this morning as a Titans fan? Like, how far away do you feel from like the rest of the AFC as a Titans fan than you did as of yesterday going into the games?
I don't know if it was like really that much different. It was more watching the game last night, where it's just like these teams are playing a completely different sport.
Yeah.
Titans started like 3 drives inside the Denver 35-yard line and couldn't score a touchdown. Like it's just not even the same sport.
It's so frustrating. Yeah, at least for you, Biggie, did it feel yesterday like, hey man, we got a shot? We had 1 drive less.
No, to me, I mean, I truly feel that Raheem Morris, like, love him to death. I just don't think you're a head coach.
He's ain't the guy.
He just ain't it. Like, they just don't. It's just stupidity, man. And yeah, I was really encouraged by Michael Penix and like the skill position players. Bijan Robinson is a superstar, But yeah, we should have won that game yesterday.
Should have got that dub.
Yeah.
Should have got that dub. All right, let's talk a little college.
College ball.
There's a little game day action happening in Knoxville. I'm trying to put a bid in for Ryan Schumpert as a guest picker. I think you
got
do.
My vote.
I think you do really good at it.
I think you crush.
I think you would. I'm really looking forward to this week. I feel like they may have put Tennessee in the top 15 in the AP poll just because of optics. I'll take it. It's a big jump after beating ETSU. Shout out to my alma mater. We got paid for that one. Hell yeah. That's all we got out of that. That's all the East Tennessee State Buccaneers got out of
tough,
that.
Malcolm.
That was so tough.
That was
tough. You saw my show?
Oh, I saw that. That was
we gotta clip that, man. I'm ice cold over here, brother.
I got you, dog.
Thank you, man. Left me out to dry like that. Embarrassing me.
Speaking of you guys know who the quarterback for your alma mater is?
Cade McNamara.
Michigan. He's approaching like Zach Calzada levels of being in college football, dog.
I did forget about. Yeah.
And Jacoby Criswell. They have two.
Oh my God.
Power 5 starting quarterbacks on their transfers on their roster.
Wait, where'd Jacoby come from?
North Carolina.
Oh, that's right. Holy crap. I forgot about that guy. I was like, that name sounds familiar. Wow. Cade McNamara.
Was he at NC State at one point too? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I think you're right. I think he was. I think he
maybe just went down the road.
I mean, yeah, dude. You got what? McNamara. That's McNamara's third school, Michigan, Iowa, ETSU.
Man,
dude,
Iowa.
What a time.
Oof.
What a time.
The Iowa run. Yikes.
Playing quarterback at Iowa is just a yikes.
It sure is.
Yeah,
that was a tough game to watch.
Yikes.
All right, Joseph, hit him off with that first question, brother.
All right, Shump. Well, this is a very big week on this podcast, as I am vastly outnumbered in terms of red to orange ratio. But I think the biggest news that I want to ask you about first is Ricky Gibson's out. So there was hopes that Jamad McCoy was going to make it back for this game. Obviously, he's going to held out a little bit longer. I think last I had heard, Alabama was his point of return. So with Ricky Gibson III being out, what do you expect from the DBs? Who do you think's going to need to step up? What's your thoughts with Ricky Gibson going to miss this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ricky Gibson is going to miss a considerable amount of the season. So it's a little bit of just a new reality for Tennessee, at least until McCoy can get back. I think if McCoy plays this season, he'll definitely be back before Gibson. So look, Colton Hood's been really good. If there's anything good about your All-American corner tearing his ACL in January, it said it happened in January, and they were able to go out and get Colton Hood in the portal, and he looks like a number one corner type guy in the SEC. I don't know if he's an All-American or an All-Conference type guy, but he's really good. And then Ty Redmond, who's a freshman corner, Gibson, that injury happened in the second quarter of the Syracuse game, and he slides into that spot at that point and played all while the starters were in against ETSU. So he's looked great. He has done all you could ask for to this point, but the reality is, even for a Georgia offense that's passing attack and out wide receivers might not be elite, it's just going to be a different level of challenge this week. So it's going to be those two guys, I think, predominantly. I'll be curious. Jalen McMurray has started at star with Boo Carter backing him up. McMurray was their third corner a year ago and was pretty solid when he had to play. I was a little surprised we didn't see McMurray get any reps at corner as opposed to the nickel spot against ETSU. I'll be curious to see if they're more willing to do that this week when, your starters are going to theoretically play the entire game as opposed to last week where they were playing a half, essentially. So that would be the one curveball or just a thing they could do to kind of mix up the cornerback room. But when the game starts, the first snap, I expect it to be Colton Hood. I expect him to play basically every snap as long as he can stay healthy. And then Ty Redmond, the true freshman from Milton in the Atlanta area, to get the start opposite of him.
Shump, I want to stay on the topic of health and kind of take it to the trenches. We haven't seen, superstar, 5-star David Sanders, man. We have not seen him suit up yet for the Big Orange with an injury. He's been nicked up due to practice. Is he going to play this weekend? Could you kind of get some explanation as to, why, if he wasn't, almost close to going at ETSU, why would you throw him out in the fire against, arguably the best team in the conference in the SEC?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting situation for two reasons. Kind of one, it's just kind of odd, the injury itself. Like, it's kind of, people are kind of mum talking about it. It seems like a little bit of a strange deal. I mean, it sounds like shoulder, but it doesn't necessarily sound like a traditional shoulder injury. So that aspect of it is just peculiar because of how quiet people have been about it. And then on the aspect of, let's say he is able to play on Saturday. I mean, it's exactly what you said, Malcolm. Like, are you really going to throw him in there for his first college football action and play him a ton against Georgia? Like, that is just a tough task. My thought is, if he can play, I don't think I start him. I do think I would play him, but I don't think I would start him and ask him to play every offensive snap. And look, Tennessee's offensive line has been really good through 2 weeks. Jesse Perry, who kind of had come out of nowhere to start at right guard as a redshirt freshman. Like, that was the plan before the David Sanders injury. He's slid to right tackle and has been great. But I don't know, a line I will probably say a lot on this podcast and a lot this week. It's just a whole different ball game on Saturday compared to what Tennessee has played this year, even against Syracuse. So as good as Jesse Perry, as good as that offensive line has been, it's a lot more shaky, or you're just a lot more uncertain about how they're going to fare against Georgia.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it sounds like we had Max from PFF on the other day, and it sounds like that Syracuse defensive front, not quite the same as those boys from Athens.
No, and
they might be closer to ETSU.
That's a fact.
Just scoreboard watching. Drew could have spoken to this a little bit more. It seems like Syracuse did not get off very well against UConn either.
UConn, tough matchup.
Yeah.
Our boy G. It's he was rooting.
Tough matchup, but
I think the basketball team could have competed just as well as that football team.
Probably.
Anywho's probably. I did want to ask about the confidence right now. How are you feeling from the team wise where they are at with Joey Aguilar? It really seems like it has stepped up, especially in the media world. But in the face of the team right now, you kind of see it's tough for a guy to come in as late as he did and be a captain, be a leader. But I think these first 2 weeks, in my eyes, have changed. How does it feel like from a team's perspective and what you're seeing day to day?
Yeah, I think from a team perspective, he's definitely won the respect of that room. And I think he'd done a lot of that during the season, but there were still, like, I don't know, just call a spade a spade. Like, there were guys that were Jake Merklinger guys that came in with him and liked Jake a lot, having spent, 2 years with him here and having known him as a recruit. And I think Aguilar has, not that it's necessarily a 1-versus-1 type of deal in that type of situation, but I think he's done what he needs to do as a leader to win those guys over, at least from like a respect standpoint. So, look, I think this team likes Joey a lot. I think his competitiveness, his just natural leadership, which isn't to say like he's Ray Lewis or anything, but that was just never something that came very easy to Nico because he was such a quiet kid. Joey's a lot more outspoken, which I think just lends to being a little bit better leader, at least a frontward facing leader, which is, I mean, if we're being honest, what you need your quarterback to be. So I think from how the team views him, the command he has of the locker room, like you said, from when he got on campus, I don't really think he could have done much more, or could be in a much better spot than he is right now.
Yeah, because we were talking about like just the little things that he did in that Syracuse game. You don't want your quarterback lowering his shoulder that much, but whenever you smack somebody in the mouth, I was like, those are those little plays. Me and Joseph, and we were all talking about that. Like, it just seemed like it had a bigger impact than you thought it would. Because you're like, dude, this guy's got to just build confidence fast in that team. So I was much appreciated because in my mind, he's done a lot of the little things that I was like, as a certified ball knower, after going 4-0 this week in the Core 4. That's right, Joseph. That's right, baby. So it's just one of those things. We gotta talk a little ball when you know it. So I just knew that Joey had a long ways to go in a very short amount of time, and I think he's done the best that he could do in these first 2 weeks, especially hit it in this monster matchup.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're going to stay on the topic of Joey because I got back looking at his schedule back when he was at App State and then obviously now at Tennessee, kind of looking at like what he's seen as far as defenses because this is, we've said it, it's a different animal on Saturday, what he's going to see. And looking back, he played Clemson last year. That wasn't a vintage Clemson defense, but there's still some names, some big 5 stars, some athletic guys. And then looking in 2023, I think they played North Carolina, and then the rest of it was just a Sun Belt schedule. So talk to me a little bit how you feel Joey's going to handle the pressure of this game, but then also talking to Drew about it a little bit before we came on the show, I said I think his internal clock is going to have to be a little bit faster. I think he's going to have to think a little bit faster because I don't know if he's going to be adjusted to what kind of fronts and blitzes and pressure that he's going to see from Glenn Schumann and Kirby on Saturday.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think when it comes to the first part of it, I don't really necessarily worry about him from the Big 8 game aspect. I think, one, even though he hasn't played high level college football, he has played a lot of college football. He's been a starting quarterback at some level for 4 years now, and just his personality as a whole, I think, lends to me not being necessarily worried about that aspect of it. I think the internal clock, the throws that he can get away with, like, look, some of the throws that he made against ETSU on Saturday, you're just asking for disaster if you try to make those plays against ETSU. And look, or against Georgia, that was his reputation. That he turned the ball over a lot last year at Appalachian State. He has very much a gunslinger mentality. He doesn't shy away from tough throws, which I think some of that is good. I think Tennessee needs some of that because I think Nico was too reliant on waiting for receivers to get open before uncorking balls last year and not trusting his receivers or throwing his receivers open. But it's obviously a fine line there, and he's going from just polar opposite ends of what you can get away with when it comes to facing Georgia this weekend. And he's had, like I said, the offensive line's played really well through 2 weeks, so he's had a lot of time to throw, and that's going to change. It feels like Georgia's, some of their stunts and pressures have pretty consistently given Tennessee issues over the last 4 years now. So that's all the stuff I think I'm really intrigued to see from him. And just like, to me, the Syracuse game, especially, the thing that impressed me the most was just he functioned really well in the offense. I felt like he was really on time with things, was really quick working through his progressions. How much of that translates over to this game? That's what I'm probably most curious to see this week is, it's just such a, I was talking about this with somebody last night. You have 12 games in regular season, so few sample sizes, and you're trying to draw conclusions from them. And some of those, depending on how good you are, anywhere between like 3 to 6 of those games, you really don't feel like you can draw a lot of conclusions. And then it's like this one, it's just you go straight from the polar opposite end. To me, this is the hardest game on Tennessee's schedule. So even if it doesn't amount to a win on Saturday and it doesn't amount to him playing great on Saturday, I think you just want to see him look comfortable and not overwhelmed to feel good about him being able to run this offense efficiently moving forward the rest of the season.
Now, Shump, for the Tennessee Volunteers to win, I mean, and really for any team, but specifically this Saturday, got to do three things. One, control the line of scrimmage. Two, you have to play defense and create turnovers. And three, you have to run the football effectively. Now, when you talk about running the football effectively, there's a trio of running backs, but I want to talk about one guy specifically that I think should be getting more touches. He's a star, and his name is Star Thomas. Walk me through, what is the rationale behind the kind of carousel that we're seeing right now? What are you seeing, man?
Well, they like all three guys in that room, and I think Star Thomas has been that third guy, which I think is kind of what you're getting at, because he's the newcomer, and he frankly was the worst of the three in spring practice. And now look, they've talked about how much better he's gotten and how many all the steps he has made from spring to fall. I think Josh Heupel even said it Saturday. He's the most improved player on the team from day one of spring practice to now. So I'll be curious to see if they change that a little bit. Like I don't think Peyton Lewis had a very good game on Saturday. Again, very small sample size against ETSU. The starters were not in. Those top guys were not in a lot, and they're rotating. So I think that's where it gets tricky with three when you're rotating, because all these coaches say we're just going to ride the hot hand. We're going to get all these guys option touches and ride the hot hand. Well, if you're trying to cycle in three running backs and you run your offense like Tennessee does, which means typically you don't sub within drives.
Right.
You're like in the second quarter by the time everybody's gotten the drive, and then you don't really know who has the hot hand at that point. So it gets to me very difficult to figure out who has the hot hand when you're balancing three guys. So I'm curious to see if they are a little bit more aggressive, trying to pinpoint that early, especially just look, it's going to be hard to run on Georgia. Tennessee, for things you can say did not go well for him last year. I thought that was by far the best they've run the ball against Georgia in Josh Heupel's tenure. If you find some success with one of those guys in the first half, doesn't mean he has to get every carry the rest of the way, but I do think you need to be quicker to whittle down the carries and roll with one guy who's effective. And I also look, they're throwing the ball to running backs more this year. I think Star Thomas is by far their best option as a pass catcher out of the backfield, which is another reason why I think he should probably, to your point, be getting more touches or at least more snaps.
Very well said.
Yeah, it's so hard with three, and it's a good problem to have, because I've talked about it a couple times. It really does, and it's just the way Josh and those guys recruit, but it feels like a plug and play, like with the talent they're getting for these running backs. Like it's just year in, year out. Like we continually have 1,000-yard rushers. It feels like at the helm. It's awesome to have. It's an awesome problem to have. This offense thrives on it. This offensive line thrives on it. I do want to say that the wide receivers, despite it being ETSU, did look a little bit better. Thoughts on Matthews possibly being now wide receiver one-ish?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the hope. Like he's the most talented guy in that room, so you want to see him become receiver one, become more consistent. I think when you speak specifically about Matthews, like that's kind of the thing I'm looking for. He had some drops in that first game. I know that was a little bit of a tendency for him in high school, a concern of his going into college. So look, like, and I guess this is the thing I would say about Tennessee's offense as a whole. It's Syracuse and ETSU. The numbers are shockingly similar to what Tennessee did against two very similar opponents last year to start the year in UTC and NC State. You got a SoCon team in the state of Tennessee, and you got a below-average ACC team. The numbers are very similar. Now, look, I will say I think their passing offense was better against Syracuse than it was against NC State. So that would be the little bit more positive. But I need to see those receivers go out there and make plays in SEC games. And again, Saturday will be the hardest of those games to make plays in, but I need to see those guys, especially when it comes to Matthews and Staley, the younger guys, game in, game out, be productive, be reliable, and then if they can have a explosion, a big 125, 150-yard gain, couple touchdowns, that's all the better. But I think you just want to see those guys be reliable week in, week out.
Shump, every time college game day rolls into town, I get nervous, I get weary because I've seen it time and time again, man. This is not my first rodeo. There's always a star, whether it's Percy Harvin, Amari Cooper, whether it's Antonio Callaway. I mean, we can keep going. There is always just a thorn in Tennessee's side that has a career day. And I think that thorn this year is going to be Zachariah Branch. With that being said, if you're Tim Banks, how do you try and contain this guy knowing the limitations that you have on the defensive back end?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a weird thing to say with the injuries at corner, but I almost don't like that he's a slot receiver. Like, I'd almost still feel better if he was gonna get more of his snaps out wide and you could put Colton Hood on him. I think, and look, I have not been the person that's been just like pushing for you have to play Boo Carter 70 snaps a game. I kind of think this is a game you got to play him more. Like Zachariah Branch is just a different caliber of athlete, and Boo Carter's a different caliber of athlete too. That doesn't mean he's going to lock him down and he can take him out of the game. But he is just Jalen McMurray, I think, is fine at that spot, and most guys Tennessee will play this year. I don't really have any issues about them giving McMurray a ton of problems, but Branch is the one that I worry about a little bit. He's just a different caliber playmaker, and certainly someone Tennessee has to be very aware of. And look, like I think you would say maybe you run more zone defense because of that, because you're worried about his speed and being able to contain him. Tennessee zone defense was not very good when they ran that against Syracuse. Like that's going to have to be something they clean up. And you go back to that game a year ago in Athens. Now it was more to tight ends than the slot receivers, but Georgia just killed Tennessee throwing the ball over the middle, targeting the linebackers and the safeties. I think that has to be a concern for multiple reasons on Saturday.
It does worry you, but I think you need a little bit of that Boo crazy this week. That's the thing about him is like he's such a special talent, but he's got the issues going on, and I don't know for full effect, but it seems like it's getting a lot better. He's getting playing time this weekend. Was a higher stint of snaps, and after week 1, I know all that stuff going on, but Boo's special talent. You mentioned it. I really thought in the kick return game, it was nice punt return game. He's got it, man. He really does.
I haven't been, like I said, a guy that's just been pushing. You have to play him 70 snaps at star or something like that. I do think he should probably play more than he has. He's got to return every punt, man. He's, I think, a good defensive back. I don't know if he's a great defensive back at this point. He's extremely talented. He has the chance to be. He is a great punt returner right now. And when you're talking about a Georgia team that Tennessee has consistently struggled to move the ball against in Josh Heupel's tenure or in any other team, I just don't think you can poo-poo on any opportunities to potentially have some game-changing plays on special teams.
Yeah, he's different with the ball in his hands. He's so different with the ball in his hands. I don't know how much he's going to get on offense, but yeah, just seeing him, like, there's just certain guys that played a different speed in the punt return game. You're like, gives us a chance every time.
He's one of them ones.
One of them ones. Joseph, what you got, bro?
All right, Ryan. Well, man, we've covered a lot of angles of this game. So I guess my final question for you, man, give me 2 to 3 keys for Tennessee. Like if they're going to get this done, if they're going to get what is probably the biggest win since the Alabama game, since Josh's first win over Alabama, probably.
Yeah.
How do they do it? Who makes the plays? What are you looking out for? Just 2 to 3 keys for Tennessee on Saturday.
Yeah, I think the number one thing that worries me for Tennessee in this game is just the run defense. Like, they're going to be down. I was already worried about their depth at defensive tackle entering the year. David Hobbs suffers a foot injury in preseason practice. He's going to be out this game. We'll see if Jackson Moy can give it a go. He suffered an upper body injury against Syracuse, didn't play last week. I expect him to be questionable just about all week on the availability report. So, look, this Georgia team, I know the talk has been, and Georgia's even more severe than Tennessee, of kind of having played nobody at this point, so you don't know what is real and what is not. But and correct me if I'm wrong here, Joseph, but it felt like the buzz coming in the season was this was going to be a much better running team than Georgia has had at least last year. So that's a concern. I think you want to make Gunnar Stockton beat Tennessee if you're Tim Banks and Duvall's defense in this game. So I would say that to me is a big one. If Georgia is able to run the football and control the clock, like it just control the pace of the game, I don't feel very good for Tennessee's chances. And look, I think the thing I would say Tennessee has not had, like, I guess in 21 they had a couple. They have not created explosive plays in the passing game against Georgia. They have not been able to do that at all. I mean, that 22 was Tennessee did nothing but create explosive plays in the passing game. I mean, even Syracuse or the South Carolina game they lost, they created a lot of explosive plays. None in Athens. So I think that's the thing I point to. Can one of those receivers step up, can make a big play? Look, we've seen Josh Heupel also, to this point in the season, kind of change his offense a little bit. It's less dependent on the wide splits. Does he have anything up his sleeve? Can he create some favorable matchups in Tennessee, have some receivers go out there and win one-on-one? So those are the two things I would say that maybe step out or stand out the most to me. One, because, like I said, Tennessee really has not been able to create explosive plays in the passing game against Georgia at all. And two, I just worry about Tennessee's run defense this season as a whole, and I think Georgia's going to be able to test that. And then three, I mean, look, I'll just say the basic key to a game when you're really any game, but especially when you're the worst team in the game, and just win the turnover battle. I do think Georgia's the better team here. I think Georgia will win on Saturday. Tennessee can win the turnover battle, create some short fields, still some possessions. I think that, gives them as good as a chance as any other. Which actually, on that point, I'll say this. I'll poke at you a little bit, Joseph. No team has had better fumble luck that I can ever remember than Georgia against Tennessee. In the last 6 years since I've gotten to UT, I don't think there has been a fumble in a Tennessee-Georgia game that Georgia didn't recover. So maybe some of that flips for Tennessee on Saturday, and they recover.
Give us one, baby. Give us one.
Here's the thing. You kind of hit the nail on the head there with talking about making Gunner beat you. One of the biggest complaints from the Georgia fan base is that Gunner's had opportunities, and he's just not taking them. He's turning them down. So he's going to be conservative. He's putting an emphasis on protecting the ball in that aspect. But what we have seen, as much as I love Nate Frazier, is that Nate drops the ball. He just has. I don't know what it is about him. He did it last year. He did it last week in the Austin Peay game. Ball security has been probably the biggest struggle for Nate Frazier as a running back for Georgia. So I think your opportunities are there for you to get one this year, but we'll see, man. So
I'll never forget. And look, it's a game that, if it's going to happen, and might as well be this game, because Tennessee was far outmatched in that 2018 game. But that was my freshman year, and I was in Sanford as a fan. That first drive, I guess would it have been Darrell Taylor on that team?
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess it'd have been Darrell Taylor.
Yeah,
strip sacks Jake Fromm, Isaac on like 3rd and 5 at the 40-yard line. Isaac Nada picks it up and runs it 50 yards for a touchdown. First drive of the game.
I remember
like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I remember sitting there. I was watching that on TV, and I can't remember who was standing next to me, but they looked at me. They're like, "Just how we drew it up." I was like, "Sure, whatever works, man. Like, I'll take it." So,
yo, how is Isaac Nada not like a Pro Bowler? What happened, bro?
I think Isaac was, for NFL ball, I think he was trying to play too heavy.
Oh,
like I think he would have flourished more as like around the size that Brock is. Not saying he would have been Brock Bowers, but
he was nice as hell though.
He
sure
was. Yeah, he was like, he really kicked off what's been just a flourishing run of the tight end room at Georgia. Shout out Ethan Barber. Get healthy, brother. We're gonna miss you. That was probably one of the next.
He was
getting snaps, dude, as a freshman, and he's an NFL body. Like, so
you would have had it. You definitely would have had it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to get to your journalism tap here, Shump. Give me your favorite SEC storyline after 2 weeks.
That's a good one. Look, I think, to me, it's still Texas, because I think Texas is the most talented team in the league. And it's kind of like last year, where I believe in Kirby and I have more trust in Kirby. Is Georgia talented enough to win the national championship? I'm not saying they're not. I'm just less sure of it. I feel like Texas is talented enough to win the national championship. I don't trust Sark as much. And look, Arch Manning's looked bad through 2 weeks. Can he grow? Like, you knew there were going to be learning curves and pains. And, I think his dad even said it in an interview over the summer. Like, they're going to build you up to want to tear you down. And we're certainly seeing the tear you down process right now. Can he build himself back up and become a quarterback that's good enough to win a national championship this season? I think that's the one that is, when we're talking about big SEC storyline, stands out the most. This sneaky one I'll say this week, South Carolina's looked bad through 2 weeks of the season. And I think Shane Beamer is either one of two things. He is the worst fall camp coach in the country, or he is the best in-season coach in the country, because they consistently suck in September and then turn it around and they're good in November. So Vanderbilt has played well. They played well in Blacksburg last week. I think they played Charleston Southern or a nobody week 1. That game, I think South Carolina's about a touchdown favorite at home. I wouldn't be surprised if Vanderbilt at least gives them a really good game and a run for their money. Because South Carolina they have not looked good through 2 weeks.
Yeah, the Sellers part of it, getting sacked 4 times against SC State, that's a tough look.
Yeah.
It's a tough look. Yeah. Shump, we love you, buddy. We appreciate you as always. Follow him at rshump00 on the X. What else you got to plug, buddy?
Yeah, it'll be a ton of Tennessee football content this week, getting ready for the game. Like, I don't know, it's a different gear. I was glad for football to be back 2 weeks ago, but it's a different gear when you get into SEC play, and few matchups, if any, on Tennessee's schedule more exciting than this. So it'll be a ton of football this week, and then as we start getting to the end of the month, Tennessee fall baseball and preseason basketball will start getting going, and we'll have tons of coverage on that stuff as well.
Dude, you always crush it. Rocky Top Insider, Ryan Schumpert. 3 claps one time, fellas.
Appreciate you guys. I'll see you. We'll have to do it again sometime this season.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
We'll be in touch.
You're our regular, dude.
Oh, I love it. It's always a good time chopping it up.
You're the man. See you, buddy.
All right, see you guys.
See you, brother.
I'm glad he brought up Texas there towards the end, because did you guys happen to see like the video that came out about Arch over the weekend?
No.
So there was a video that got put on Twitter of some camera angles that were really good on his face when he was throwing the ball.
Oh,
and the faces he was making. Bro. Yeah, and somebody it ultimately turned out people were trying to speculate that he was injured. Well, Sark got asked about it in his presser.
Okay.
And he was like, they said, we're talking about Arch's injury, and he's like, who'd you hear that from? He's like, no, Arch didn't hurt. And then he ended up comparing it to, I don't record what faces you make when you go to the restroom. And in my head, I'm thinking, that's the one place you decided to take that?
Yeah.
I feel like you could have easily said, well, what if someone recorded your face when you're working out?
Yeah.
You make weird faces.
Not the best off the dome.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best moment for Sark on a presser. But I mean, I get it. He's probably heard that or seen that, and it's probably got him a little bit emotional. He's probably kind of mad about it. So I mean, I'm not gonna grill him for a response in a presser, but I didn't know if you guys had a chance to see that or not.
No, I feel like I would be frustrated all the time with these coaches.
Yeah.
As a coach, I'm sorry. When listening to the media members, they have to ask these questions.
Yeah.
Because it's a viral sensation, or it's like a source going around.
Yeah.
And then it's that's total bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bullshit, but also it's just after multiple throws, the kid was kind of wincing. Well, so it's
I have 2 thoughts in my head. Number one, from the Sark perspective, obviously answering these media questions, sometimes you just have to answer stupid questions.
Yeah.
And you're just going to get asked stupid questions. But Sark, as opposed to other coaches, is on the nth degree because he has the Manning. So whatever coach this would be would have to be answering these questions. It's Sark.
It comes with the territory.
It comes with the territory of signing a Manning.
Yeah.
Whether or not Arch asked for regardless, that's part of the territory. But number 2, it makes me curious. Are those just natural, or is he nervous, or is it? I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate that Arch is hurt. I'm not putting that out there at all, because if Sark says he's not, I'm gonna believe him. But I don't know how I feel about him looking that uncomfortable throwing the ball. Because I've watched poised quarterbacks, and you see their face, and they're looking through the throw, and they're seeing the field, and I don't know. I know he's young, and again, I'm not saying it's going to be a downfall of Arch. It's just everybody's got things that they do subconsciously, and it could just be one of those things that happens to him. But I don't know. I'm just a little bit concerned if he is feeling those, I guess, nerves like that. And you're playing San Jose State.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think we need to wait and see, bro.
I like that.
Honestly,
give him time. Yeah.
Give him time. Let's just see how it unfolds throughout the season. And take it from there.
Yeah, I also think it's just a weird time. I feel like at this point, maybe you're like, well, maybe we take the L at Ohio State, but you're kind of not expecting your guys to kind of play this poorly.
Right.
You're not really expecting. So it's kind of just this weird shock. You're like, man, I did not expect this.
Yeah.
And then you're taking all this criticism, even though you lost to the number 3 team in the country at Ohio State. It's like touchdown, who
arguably should have been the number one team in the country.
Exactly. The returning champs, dude.
And I think it's lost on a lot of people, and I throw myself in this same crowd too, just how much Texas is replacing on the offense. And we kind of expected them to just reload because of the way they've recruited. But like sometimes it just takes a minute, for this offensive line to gel. They got 4 new starters. Ryan Wingo's now been elevated to this number 1 wide receiver position, but you're still looking for that like Gunnar Helm, kind of what Ryan was last year for Matthew Golden and Isaiah Bond. So like you're looking for these role players to come in so Ryan can elevate. So it's a lot to gel. And because you probably didn't get the most meaningful reps in the Ohio State game. So San Jose State was kind of probably this offense's like first real game to where they could just kind of see what works.
Yeah.
Because you're playing San Jose State. So
it really did matter too, seeing yesterday. Funny enough, in the NFL, it's like I thought about it for a minute. I was like, man, you believe in Texas's replenishment of talent.
Yep.
But I'm looking out and I'm watching these games and you're like, oh yeah, let's take a storyline from the NFL and bring it down. It's like, we have ideals of Matthew Golden becoming the number 1 wide receiver on possibly the best team in football. That guy was down in Austin last year. Like we took away that. In my mind as a Titans fan, I'm like, I need Gunnar Helm to play valuable minutes for the Titans.
100%.
Isaiah Bond, another guy. It's like,
just got signed with the Browns.
Yes, he did.
And not the worst offense I've ever seen in the Browns. So
yeah,
it's these guys are going to play valuable minutes. And those are the guys he's replacing, especially Helm, and especially Golden as the NFL talent, and Golden to the toppest of tiers, because you're like, oh, he's gonna be a number 1 wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. So you're telling me that the number 1 wide receiver in the hope, I guess, is supposed to be down in Texas, and he's not.
He got there in April. He got there in April, and he's already like number 1. So
they're what they wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like you took away all that talent, and then now we're supposed to give Arch the crown, and hey, man, just go do it. It's like, well, it's a little tougher than I expected.
For sure.
Especially because, guys like Gunnar Helm really matter in college football.
They do. Reliable.
Yeah. It's when you have like a designated tight end that you can find on 3rd and 6. That's just, there's so much value in that for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Can I take you guys through a scenario that I have?
I love that. Yes.
So we're gonna talk about A&M and Notre Dame. Let's just say Notre Dame takes a loss this weekend, and they are rated as the number 8 program in the country in the AP Top 25.
Okay.
And let's just say USF beats the Miami Hurricanes.
Holy shit.
They are now 3-0 and have beat 3 top 25 AP teams.
Okay. They're the best resume in the country.
Does South Florida become a top 10 team? Do they become a top 5 team?
I think they jump to number 10.
But you have a Texas team that's 1-1, and then also Notre Dame. Do they stay in the top 25 if they lose on a field goal to A&M? Because you got to think Notre Dame's 0-1, but they're still in the top 10.
They had a bye week, didn't they?
Yeah.
God, that's the worst bye week ever, in my opinion. No, I would okay. Will they be in the AP poll? Probably. But the AP poll sucks.
Yeah, sometimes
okay, let me not say that. Some of the AP poll voters just suck. Some of them are great. Some of them pay attention and they rank teams properly. Other ones don't. Like, some people still have Florida ranked. Some people still have Bama ahead of Florida State. So, like, in that aspect, on the aggregate, do I think Notre Dame might still be ranked? Yes. Should they? No. If they lose to Texas A&M and they are 0-2, no, they should not be ranked. Should Florida State be a top 10 team? Sorry. Should South Florida be a top 10 team if they pull off this win over Miami?
Yeah.
1,000%. They should probably be like number 5. But will they is the question. So, and that's a tall task.
It would be really, really tough. I was just kind of looking, things that would have to happen for them to get in the top 5. because it would almost be a flip because you'd need Tennessee to beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But that would move Tennessee in that spot.
I mean, I think you could drop Texas because, like, as far as like right now, don't get me wrong, Texas is playing Texas has 3 straight cupcakes.
Yeah, but what if they beat the hell out of UTEP, bro?
Then they beat the hell out of the Utah. It's the same thing with Alabama, dude.
Yeah.
Alabama dropped
Nelson.
70, and they bought no stock for me last week. Like,
I
will say, Alabama as a team bought no stock for me. Keelan Russell, listen, I know he's going out there. There's no pressure at all because you're up like 50, and you just get to kind of go play football. But I'm a little interested in what I saw from Keelan Russell. So.
Look at me when I tell you this. In NCAA EA College Football 26, Ty Simpson doesn't touch the field when Malcolm Harris is the offensive coordinator. We putting Keelan Russell in there.
That's right, man.
Ask Garrett Tolley about it.
Okay.
He saw the first quarter adjustment.
I heard the rumors at about 11 p.m. It was not great.
It got ugly, bro.
The Baylor Bears did not prevail.
It got ugly. So when I tell you, Alabama, I know they're so invested in Ty. We saw what Ty is against Florida State, and that's going to continue. The future is now. Do it. This is Kalen DeBoer's saving grace. I'm telling you, just do it.
You can always pull that card to try to save your job.
For sure.
Stash that, but they still scored 70 this week. I don't care.
Yeah, he's your Deuce Knight for Auburn.
I don't know if I don't know if USF can get the top 5, but you'd have to have LSU lose to Florida. Yeah, and then they would have to. They wouldn't do that. Yeah, I don't know. They couldn't get the top 5. They could easily get the top 10.
Yeah. Can we and I'm sorry, I'm just spitballing here, but it's been on my mind all day. As CEO, right? You have to make tough decisions. If you're the AD, you got some AD experience. If you're an AD at the University of Florida right now, you letting Billy survive this? What are you doing with Billy Napier if it's you, Chase Green?
What's the number in my mind that Billy doesn't come back from Baton Rouge?
Oh, we talking about like fired on the tarmac?
Yeah, because I could also see it being. I mean, that offense was so piss poor, and I don't know. It's LSU 2 weeks in, but they seem really freaking good.
Yeah.
What if they just put the absolute hurting?
Are we talking like 41-14?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the number is in my mind. It would have to be grotesque. So I would have to say it would honestly have to be like 48-14.
Okay, so speaking of this game, what's worse for you? If you're Florida, you go out and you just get steamrolled and it's non-competitive, or you go out there and it's like kind of competitive a little bit, but then poor decision making on the coaching end is what ultimately costs you the game. What's worse in your opinion?
I think being close. I hate it just
because like if you go out there and it's Baton Rouge at night, it's Death Valley, and it's just like Florida's just not there yet in terms of talent acquisition, and all these pieces seem to be clicking for LSU, and they just roll you. And that they got up real early, kind of like when y'all went out to LSU, when Tennessee did, and you like blinked and it was like 34-0, and it was like, oh well, that happened quick. Okay, like what if that like happens?
Then that's just the word. I mean, that's when Billy's not coming home. Just book you a nice stay at the Four Seasons on Saturday night down in Baton Rouge. I don't know how nice that is, but
just
it can't be the worst.
Some crawfish and a couple drinks.
Yeah, I mean, I would start, or you make your way down to New Orleans and say, you know what, let's just have a ripper on Bill.
Yeah,
I mean, you hop in an Uber and you head on back to Louisiana.
Yeah,
and you just go back to coaching there. And you just don't go back.
Yeah,
to
just
like guys, you walk back through the facilities, be like, guys, I'm back, and you see if they put you on the staff.
I think they'd love it.
I can't stand the University of Florida as a program, but I'm being really empathetic when I say this. There is not a way for Bill and Napier to escape this unscathed. I'm looking at this schedule.
It's rough.
3, 5, 7, 16. Mississippi State, who got votes to be a top 25 team this week, guys.
Best win of the weekend.
And then 6. And then Kentucky, then 17, 15, 10. Whoever made this Billy Napier must have had an affair with your wife.
Yeah.
Had to.
Probably.
Hey, Drew, get that camera prepared to swing on over to you here in a second. That other guy, because we got we're going to get to Mississippi State just for a second here. But
this is crazy, guys.
When do you just let it go? But also, it's like, dude, who are we throwing into the fire for that gauntlet? We just let Billy get his ass kicked. If it's this bad, or USF could just be really freaking good because Golish is clearly a program changer.
He is ready to take the lead.
And also, this is the type of school that just has the potential.
Do you just go get Alex Golish? Do you just do the coach swap?
I would be miserable.
I guarantee you, there were so many boosters in those suites that were like,
why don't we just take that guy?
Dude.
So here's the problem.
Keep his kids in the schools for the rest of the year.
Here's my biggest concern with letting go of Billy is like, at that moment, unless you just hire the guy, DJ's a free agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But truly, I think the Nico Iamaleava saga has proven, hey, I'll go take my chances somewhere else. Like DJ is amazing, no doubt, but like amazing should have won against South Florida.
Yeah, but watching DJ and then, gosh, dude, the 11 penalties is what kills me in that game.
Yeah.
And then there's a moment in that game where, because Billy's the play caller.
For sure.
So they run like back-to-back trick plays. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like you watch the first drive and Jordan Baugh, I think it's Jordan Baugh, is just destroying South Florida, man. You give him like 6 carries on the opening drive, and then I think he gets 12 the rest of the game. Like I don't understand the philosophy there. I don't understand, like, this is literally a tune up, get a 4-score lead, pull your starters, hold the lead, and then go to LSU. And instead it turns into a 4-quarter fight because you've got penalties just left and right.
And then
you've got a guy spitting on a player.
The discipline era is so atrocious down there. Like, you go back to the shoe toss, all the things. Like,
it's like you can't get out of your own damn way. And I know the shoe toss was Dan Mullen, but like,
still, but it's like, it's just
program
stuff right now. Two not so great hires so far. And I really did think, I was like, man, maybe Billy's a pretty good coach at the end of the year last year. That gauntlet, getting 8-4.
Yeah.
Getting 8-4 with
they
that
turned
team.
it around.
I was like, holy shit, he might be pretty good. This year just shows me like there's just no discipline. And I thought the same thing about Callahan for the Titans. I think Billy takes accountability. I think he's a good dude.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think whenever you're trying to build out of a dumpster fire and you're trying to create a program, you got to have a little psycho in you, and I don't think he has that. I think there was a thing about, like, not everybody's Nick Saban, but I think Kirby's got a little crazy in him. I think Lane Kiffin's got a little crazy in him.
Yeah.
I think you just got to have a guy that's like a little bit narcissistic. I think you got to have a guy that just has undeniable belief. I just don't feel that with Billy. I don't feel like he's crappy word usage, but alpha enough to be a Florida head coach.
Talk to him.
I feel like it's my aspect with Billy approaching this game is I feel like we're starting to see in college football, especially with the way that the sport has moved, we're starting to see the death of the head coach play caller, because you just have so much stuff on your plate as a head coach that you need to be able to divvy that responsibility to someone else. Because I think we've seen this in other places where, like, I think of Jimbo Fisher. When he was at Texas A&M, he was like, I'm calling the plays. It didn't work out. And he ultimately ended up having to hire an offensive coordinator, but it was just too late at that point. Yeah. And I think Billy is another piece in this cycle of the death of head coach play callers, because there's so much you have to do as a head coach that you need to be involved. Like, you can be involved. Like, Kirby's involved in the defense.
Yep.
But Glenn calls it.
Same with
Kirby's
Florida State
involved in the offense. Yeah.
and Gus.
Mike Norvell hired a guy who has head coach experience, but was a play caller and is now a full-time play caller.
And that's it.
And it seems to have worked out through 2 games. It's worked out exponentially better.
Oh my gosh.
So it feels to me like it's the dawning of, you are a head coach, be a head coach, don't be a coordinator and a head coach, because there's just too much.
Yeah.
With NIL, and now teams are having to hire general managers, and you're just stretching yourself too thin. And I think you saw that in the Florida game with the situational awareness of choosing to call certain plays when he did, choosing to take the ball out of Jordan Baugh's hands. I saw in a film study, shout out film guy, it looks like DJ just hasn't played enough, and that, that's injuries and him not getting a full fall camp, and that's stuff you can't help, but like, that kind of falls to the coordinator in the play selection. Like, if DJ's struggling like this and his mechanics look a little rusty and he looks a little off because he hasn't had as much practice, and you've got Jordan Baugh sitting here running for 7 yards a rip, hand him the ball.
Hand him the freaking ball.
I don't know. That's sorry to get on my soapbox, but.
And I know it's hard to replenish really good offensive coordinators year in, year out, because if they're good, they move on. But to the point of that is, look at the best teams from any of our eras. It's like, all right, we'll use an example, but Saban was a great example of, he just rotated in guys. If you had a bad run as a head coach, hey man, Kiffin, you stunk it up at USC. Come on down. We got you, Sark.
Yeah.
Look what Ohio State's doing. We got you, Patricia. We got you, Chip Kelly. Like, all these guys, like, you're going to rotate in these studs. And I'll use as a Tennessee example from another one. Is like, I think the best era we had was with Alex Golesh, and him being at the helm of a true play caller and somebody that Josh can trust. I know that's not easy. It's so much easier said than done. It's like, keep finding these guys, but I just feel like they're out there for big time programs at a place like Florida. You can go hire and spend some money on an ex-head coach. I don't know. Gus Malzahn just did it at Florida State. It's like, hey man, UCF, that sucks down there right now. Like, I get that's probably a really hard place that has national championship expectations, but probably not the organization of a national championship program. Like, it's not going to have the backing of SEC. Yeah, I get it. You're in Florida, you're doing all your things, but it's just not the same. And they have these high expectations. And clearly that team last year just couldn't put it all together, despite getting some big time recruits, despite having an awesome transfer portal. Gus was like, I'm out, dog. I got to go.
He said deuces.
I'm going to go be an offensive coordinator, have less stress on me. And man, I had belief that it would be better. Blew my expectations away. And again, not saying Gus Malzahn's live everywhere in the country, but there is opportunities for you to go find a really good coordinator.
Yeah, and I feel like there's never been a better time. Whereas, like, if you're a head coach of specifically a P4 school, with the way that the G5 rosters and G5 have mostly just become like a transfer portal farm league.
Yep.
Like, Dion hired a group of 5 head coach as a coordinator.
Yeah.
So, like, I think you can get away with that as a P4 head coach, is to go hire somebody who, yeah, he ran his own program, but he was also calling plays as a G5 coordinator. Like, you can bring them in, and that's just that much more experience to take over roles like that. So I don't know, man. I'm it doesn't look good for Billy, because the rest of the schedule is a disaster.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like, with the exhaustion of the NIL era, that some of these head coaches are going to, like Gus, are going to find more coordinator jobs, be like, money's just as good in some places?
Yeah. I mean, I think that coaches are not only that, but going to go to the NFL and pull Chip Kelly's, right? Like, why would I stay at Ohio State and have to deal with all this when I'm just a football guy? Like, you go to the NFL, well, you stayed in college because of the love of the game, right? The money stuff was not in the game legally, of course. But now it's like, dude, like, I have all the freaking stuff of the NFL. I might as well go, because it's 17 weeks. It's not year round. This is now a year-round game.
A much harder year-round.
Yeah, like you're not only recruiting your team to come back, but you're recruiting high schoolers to come in, and then other people's teams to make your team better. That's 3 recruiting cycles, dog. It's crazy.
And you're recruiting gets an uneducated and a long ways away from being educated version of agents. We got a lot of parents. I know a lot of these guys are getting agents, but this is a field, and I know it's getting better. This is a field of marketing and free agency that they can go year in, year out. I don't know. Do you guys see Greg Olson on Marty's podcast talk about this? He's like, if we could have one, we need to have one or the other. If we're going to have an IL, there's no transfer portal. It's like either you stay and take the money. You can't take the money with you. Like it's got to be like everything's got to be a payback. There's all clauses. There's no fully guaranteed contracts. It's like if you leave, you got to give all your money back. And it's like, ooh, that'd be tough. Because it's like you'd have to buyout clause. Like if UCLA is gonna take away Nico, well, they got to pay back the 1.2 that he took the last year. It's like, dang.
Oh, the school has to do it?
Yeah, just something like that. It's like it would have to be well worth everybody's time.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, bro.
Yeah, I don't either. But it's like I see where he's getting at just to tamper or to slow this thing down.
Yeah,
you'd have to enforce some crazy like martial law version.
I mean, I don't know why you can't have some kind of like not necessarily a payback model, but like an NFL model with player contracts,
where
it's like you can't just up and leave if you get drafted somewhere.
Yeah. That's the big thing. That's where that's got to stop.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know. I think you should have the right as a player if you want to change schools. Yeah, you can, but I think there should be a certain designated time for it. Which I think it was last week or the week before last. The NCAA, I think, with the oversight committee had approved a like single transfer portal window. So that is a step forward, and that'll
be nice,
a step in the right direction. But it'd be nice, as a coach, and I think that's what a lot of coaches miss is that when you hit a certain date, it's like boom, this is my roster.
Yeah,
and that's who I have
because you're fighting for what an extra. How long was it? What's the difference in transfer portals now?
Well, I mean, you can enter the transfer portal now. You can't like go anywhere.
But the window, like the whenever you could go, there's 2, right?
Yeah, there's like the immediately after the national champion, or I think it opens in December actually.
Yeah,
it's like December to January, and then there's another one from like March to July. Or
so
something.
you got to recruit your guys for another 3 months
on top of recruiting kids coming out of high school and kids like juniors and seniors. Because if you're a program that really wants to have success, you're recruiting juniors. Like you're recruiting more than just the kids graduating that year.
Crazy.
I will say, I think we need to create like a TJ Finley rule, meaning,
wow,
6 schools in about 6 years. Like, brother, that's excessive.
It's too much.
Like, you might be the problem. Like, I get it after maybe 1 or even 2. But what's my man? His name is Bear. Went to Georgia. You remember him?
Oh, Bear Alexander?
Yeah.
He's in Oregon now.
Another one. He's been to 5 schools. And I'm just like, that's an issue for me.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be like a cap, like 3 and out. Like, hey, buddy, like it's done. Like use your 3 wisely, and this is it.
I mean, I think you could benefit from, and you'd need some kind of like conference agreement or whatever. But you know how you have to sit out a year if you transfer interconference?
Yeah.
Why not just make that universal? So you transfer from like one conference to another. It's like you have to sit out a year, and you don't get that year of eligibility back.
Ooh,
like you can still get paid if they're going to front you NIL money to come. Yeah, you can still get paid, but you're not going to
play. That's hard for me. The sit out rule.
Yeah,
because wasn't that a thing? Then
that's the reason.
It's still a thing now. It's just interconference.
It's just interconference.
Yeah, if you transfer from like an SEC, and it has to do with a certain time. I think you can get away with it if you transfer in like the first window.
Yeah.
But if you transfer in like the late window, I think if you transfer interconference, you have to like sit out a year, or you have to go through like a waiver process or something.
Yeah.
Because I know South Carolina was waiting on a waiver process for their starting running back.
Did he get that?
He got it. Yeah,
he got it.
He got
okay,
it.
cool, cool.
He did get it. Yeah, there's gonna be so much going on. It's madness. All right, Drew, take a little lap here. Take the biggest victory lap of them all, brother.
Oh boy,
Mississippi State Bulldogs.
No, we're all right. You guys keep talking. Let me adjust that real quick so I can get to look at it pre-show.
I absolutely love that Mississippi State football used the Brandon Walker stuff. This week.
Yep. They used his celebration from when he was watching it live
with our Titanic theme song.
Yes.
Absolutely wonderful. That was so much fun. Because we had some clout in it because of our boy over here.
Yes. We had to take writing.
This is and this is one of those things. Mississippi State was a heavy under, almost a lock for me. And I don't need them to win. So Drew, please take your lap.
Yeah, man. We Joseph and I touched on it a little bit in the instant reaction pod, and of course we put up the recorded on July 10th video on TikTok and Twitter. Check that out if you haven't. But I went back and rewatched it today, the instant reaction pod that we did, because I felt like, although I covered ASU well, I feel like I didn't give Mississippi State enough love. Mississippi State's a pretty good program, man. They're not great. I'll fully admit that. But they've got two wideouts that I really like, Brennan Thompson and Anthony Evans, who showed out tremendously in this game and were the reason that they won this game. They have a 1-2 punch in Fluff Bothwell and Devon Booth, who I think are they can't go against every 1-2 punch in the SEC or P4, but they're really good. And Blake Shapen, although he holds the ball and he kind of frustrates me a little bit, he is serviceable. And I think this Mississippi State team, I had them going 4-0, of course, in the SEC over-under pod that's been much talked about. But they may get 5 wins this year. I think they're going to upset somebody. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think they're going to catch the right team at home. And the team that they're playing is going to come out flat. Mississippi State's going to jump all over them just like they did in this ASU game. And it's just going to be impossible for them to get back. So I wanted to give Mississippi State their credit because I felt like I didn't do a great job of that. But one thing that Joseph and I actually didn't get to was the fact that Kenny Dillingham or whoever was calling those plays ran a cover 0 with 30 seconds to go.
Yep.
And let probably the fastest man in the SEC, Brennan Thompson, run directly behind the defense on a man coverage, cover 1 or cover 0. I'm sorry, I'm not a huge football term guy, so I'm not going to know the exact term on that. That was awful and should be the only thing that is talked about in this game. The fact that they did not have at least 2 deep safeties running a deep zone there, because the golden rule in football, even though prevents you from winning, I know the golden rule in football is you don't get beat over the top in the last 2 minutes. And Kenny Dillingham, or whoever's calling his plays, let it happen.
Facts.
That was a very simple cross route too. I don't know if you guys watched back the play. That was. I love watching Twitter just blesses us or blesses with so many great guys that break down stuff. And it's like, it was a good exchange, and I'm sure they set it up a couple times differently. But that little in cross, I was like, I mean, it wasn't like this burner route. It's just this guy's so fast. Thompson's the man. Awesome W. And I'm with you, Drew. I don't think they're that bad. They're definitely not as atrocious as I thought. Now, when they were starting to lose, when ASU was coming back, I was like,
here it is.
Here we go. This is the way Mississippi State's going to die this weekend. And look, there's, Brendan Walker's a guy that I like watching, and it's just a funny reaction. It's like, this is somebody that's come a star. He's on, Big Noon Kickoff now. And it's like, dude, we are about to see a bad program crumble in a huge moment. Like, everybody was watching that game. It's just a lot going on, of course, but I think a lot of people had that game at least flipping over. That's how it was. We had back and forth between there and Oklahoma and Michigan, but I was like, man, please don't choke this away. And that was the beauty, was that freaking deep bomb. And what a throw and catch. I mean, I know it was open, but dude, put it right on the money and let your boy run.
Listen, he was open, but nothing has come free for the Mississippi State Bulldogs in a long time. So take those.
Take that free McNugget, baby.
10 piece.
Yep.
Always 10 piece. I can smash 10 pieces.
I can smash a 10 piece.
God, y'all making my hunger, dude.
Dude, I
Um,
lost like 9 pounds in 3 days.
do you guys have anything? I have one more thing.
I've got one more thing.
Yeah,
You got one more
I've got
thing?
one last
All
thing.
right,
as
y'all
well.
go ahead, man.
No, Malcolm.
No,
Go
I was
ahead.
just saying, like, I was just looking at this list that just dropped.
Yeah.
Of the top like quarterbacks right now in the SEC. This is ESPN Bill Connolly, and the list. I'll just let y'all know. Bo Perbula is at the top of this list.
Bo Perbula has balled.
He was awesome.
He has balled through 2 games.
This is my thing.
Okay, perfect.
I know you got to get me Missouri face stickers, by the way.
Yes, I do.
But
I got you a shirt. I think I found
we're
it.
doing a shirt.
Shirt.
I found it.
That's cool.
I'm fine with it.
Because the problem is I may be a Missouri Tigers fan after this week. This is a pretty fun team, and they're good. And Kansas was very lucky to be in this game for the time that they were in this game. I talked to Joseph about it. Kansas had 160 yards of total offense when the score was 28-24. Missouri actually dominated this game, and they kind of Missouri'd it and messed around a little bit and did the Drinkwitz thing where you're like, dude, just get it over with. Stop, please. Like, you guys are better than this. Bo Perbula, moving forward, very excited to see what he does. Kansas, it's 4-8 time again, baby.
It's 4-8 time. Best 4-8 team in the country, baby.
Dude, that team moves as Jalen Daniels moves. So he's a blast. Everything else is a wild card.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. But fun, Kansas. Malcolm, you want to?
Yeah, I'll just round out the top 5 because
do.
John Mateer is number 2, man. Very impressive.
Dude, I did not think I could watch a more impressive guy, but Bo was that. But John was awesome. That's the most controlled. I think Mateer has the most control in college football.
Yeah, no, I think Oklahoma is going to be a legitimate playoff team.
I worry about him. I worry about him as a gunslinger a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. He's fun. His legs were a huge factor in that game.
Yeah,
but there was a couple of balls that he ripped. One of them was a seam ball that were like glorified picks.
Yeah,
and
sure
he's
were.
lucky that was Isaiah Satenga. Isaiah Satenga, he owes him a steak dinner.
Yeah,
because that man saved him. On like, I know he spun out of the sack and that was sick, but Satenga literally just saved him from a pick and then caught a deep ball from him, like back-to-back play. I think Mateer is going to be great, and he's really fun to watch. But his gunslingerness a little bit makes me a little nervous
for
some of
sure.
these games.
The next running at the top 5 is Taylor Green at 3. He's been dynamic for Arkansas, bro.
I haven't got to watch a single snap of Taylor Green this year, and I hate it. I hate that I haven't. I'm really going to try to watch them play Ole Miss this weekend. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it, but I just haven't gotten a chance to watch.
And I saw this guy, and I'm just going to use our one F-bomb. He's good as fuck. Diego Pavia is good, guys. Diego Pavia, please, Drew, take it away, brother.
Let me tell you guys, I really expected this Vanderbilt team to let me down this year, and they have not. This is a good football team. This is a 7-5, maybe at worst 5-7 football team because the SEC is so good this year and the SEC is so deep and it's so talented. But this is a team that you can no longer bully with superior athletes. Now, I'm a little nervous to see what that looks like moving forward as we get deeper into the year, where you start playing the real 4- and 5-star heavy hitters of Tennessee and Alabama and all that. I'm nervous about that. But last week when they came out, they were down 20-10 at halftime. They were shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. I was man, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen in this game. They go to Virginia Tech. Kyron Drones is running all over them. Mm-hmm. This is what happens when you have 3-star corners and linebackers trying to go against legit like 5-star athleticism. Not that Kyron Drones is a 5-star, but he has 5-star athleticism, and that is his one like 5-star ability because we know he can't throw the ball. Yeah. So second half, they come out, and this was a different football team that committed itself to stopping the one thing that was killing them, and that's something that they couldn't do all of last year. So the big story that I'm going to watch this week is, are they able to stop Lenore Sellers? Because I don't think they're going to be able to stop his legs. I don't know. I don't believe in Sellers as a passer. He makes questionable on the run throws all the time. But that may work against this Commodores team. It really may work just because of the talent they have. I want to highlight one guy, Martell Height. I know we talked about Boo Carter early in the show. Martell Height is playing both ways, and he's like Vandy's third leading receiver right now, but he's listed as a cornerback, and he's playing about 70, 80 snaps a game, and he looks good. He's an underappreciated guy. He came from a big high school, I believe, in Alabama. Martell Height, you don't know the name right now, but you may by the end of the year.
I love it. This game feels like the team we doubted coming off their year last year versus the team we had a lot of hope for coming off their year last year. And the team we doubted coming into this year was like, man, Vandy's coming down to earth. South Carolina might be playoff team. I mean, some people picked them to go crazy and be like 14-0 basically. But
who did that?
Some guy we know. Somebody. But I really watching that second half of Vandy, I was like, I don't think Virginia Tech's good. I think Virginia Tech's kind of stinky, but it doesn't matter though. And it took a special teams touchdown for South Carolina to get them in Georgia. So it's like, how good is it? You have a common opponent. I mean, yeah, Sellers is going to be Sellers, but I'm not super impressed by them. He's getting sacked by South Carolina State 4 times.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I like in this game is that Vanderbilt is not ranked. As a fan, I actually like that in the latest poll that they have not ranked Vanderbilt. It
still gives them that little dog.
Yeah, it still gives them the underdog. And I really do wonder what Diego Pavia will be if this team ends up at like 6-1. Because you just need that gritty, tough, like he's not a front runner. He wants to beat Goliath. He doesn't want to have all the tools around him. He wants to figure it out. And I'm really, really concerned that if this team does go far and if they are like a legit threat, that it's kind of going to be one of those things that's a late season letdown, because that's kind of what they became last year. They got some momentum. They beat Alabama. They almost beat Texas. They almost beat LSU. And then the end of the season was like, okay, now you're supposed to be good. And they weren't. They lost. South Carolina beat the brakes off of them. They went up huge on Tennessee, and then Tennessee reminded them, hey, you're still Vanderbilt. That
was Nico Iamaleaba's best game.
Yeah, it was for sure. But the reason it was his best game is because he was having to throw past Vanderbilt's secondary, and they lost C.J. Taylor, and he was by far their best secondary member. Yeah. So,
who's 5?
5 is Joey Swagular, believe it or not.
Okay, I agree with that. Nice. I think he's a really good 5.
Rounding out the top 10, you have Nuss, Arch, Stockton, Ty Simpson, and Marcel Reed. The bottom
Nuss is undervalued.
Yeah, the bottom is Austin Simmons, Lenore Sellers, Shopping, then Jackson Arnold. DJ Lagway is second to last with Calzada bringing in the caboose.
DJ Lagway?
That's how good the SEC has been this year.
They just said DJ has absolutely been terrible.
Through 2 weeks. I kind of get it, but it's like, we'll see.
Huge overreaction list.
Huge, but that's the best part about it. ESPN knows what they're doing. Yeah, they got us. I'm interested.
So, I got one last thing. If y'all ready to, you got anything else for me?
No,
I have nothing,
gentlemen. I wanted to end this with a little bit of I guess a new segment, maybe.
Okay.
We're just gonna call it Love Hate. Give me one thing you loved and one thing you hated from the weekend in college football, and I can start if you would.
Yeah, fire away.
Like. I'm gonna start with hate, okay? Because while I loved the outcome of this game, for financial incentives and reasons, there was a series of plays in this game where I thought this is really going to happen to me. So Baylor SMU at one point, brother, I saw what looked like just a series of we don't know what sport we're playing. Kevin Jennings, man, you did a lot for your team on Saturday, but this was not one of them. At one point, he scrambling, crosses the line of scrimmage and just chucks it downfield. And he's like a good 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, just chucks it downfield. I'm like, he forgot what sport he's playing. That ends up leading to SMU punting. They punt. Ultimately, Baylor muffs the punt, and SMU gets it back. And I'm like, all right, here we go. So I'm cheering for the over at this time. And we had 45 points in the first half, or 40 points in the first half, or something like that. We're on track. And SMU gets the ball back, in the red zone on the Baylor 15. Kevin chucks it to the end zone, picked off by Baylor. And I thought, brother, this is really happening to me.
Yeah.
And just that series of events, I was like, I hate everything about what's happening right now. But the thing that I loved, man, 4-0 in the Core 4. A big bounce back week.
We back, baby. We back.
Specifically, the one that I felt the least good about, Bo Perbula, this brother balled. So Bo Pribula was the one thing I loved from the weekend. Like 300 yards passing. It was fun to watch. Missouri's going to be a fun team this year. That's my love-hate from the weekend.
I love that. Yeah, because Bo was, I really thought it'd be his coming out party because I don't really believe in Kansas's.
Love Jalen Daniels, but
yeah,
don't.
Yeah, but it's one of those things like it's so much Jalen Daniels that I just didn't think they could get it done.
They might as well call themselves the Jalen Daniels Jayhawks.
Yeah.
The Kansas Jalen Hawks. I don't know. Sorry, I tried to workshop that and it failed.
We'll work on those marketing skills. All right. I'm going to go with my love first.
Okay.
Because it means something in the long term. And I loved Luke Altmaier in Illinois Fighting Illini.
Yep.
That made a statement of like, hey, man, Duke's not very good. That's a big one for you, boy.
Got me.
Duke's not very good. And you're paying one guy a lot of money and that whole team wasn't there.
Yeah.
Seeing Danny in his little loser suit talking to during game day, I was like, you guys are going to get your teeth kicked in today. And they did. They did, boys. Luke Altmaier looked awesome.
Is Duke just Kansas in the ACC?
Yes.
For sure, bro.
Okay. So it's
they have one really great guy. They're paying a ton of money.
Yeah.
They just can't get a ton of talent.
No, bro.
You're good at basketball. Go stay good at basketball.
Yeah. You're
no. Little hatred.
Yeah.
What did I hate?
You want me to give you one?
Yeah.
Did you hate when Stoops kicked a meaningless field goal to blow the Ole Miss minus 8.5?
And Lane Kiffin knew it.
And Lane Kiffin laughed about it in the post-game press conference and said sorry to all the game. Did you hate that?
I sure did.
I was hoping somebody would bring that up.
I sure hate that for you. I didn't have much to hate on Saturday. I'm not gonna lie to you boys. It's a perfect day. Perfect day all around for the gambling slip and for Core 4. The only thing I actually hated that DJ Lagway is getting this treatment now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of like watching him.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm glad that USF got the upset, but I hated the way that game went. 18-16 sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to beat Florida in Florida, I was like, dude, give me 31-28.
Yeah.
Lagway balls out. I hate that it's like Lagway's a part of the Billy Napier process now. And it's like, he's not developed. He's not good. I hate they kind of suck. I wanted to beat a good Florida team this year. I'm not going to lie to you. I know it's a weird hate, but I hate that kind of sucked.
No, I love your approach and your angle to that game, because it's like if it would have been like a duel between like Byron Brown and DJ Lagway and South Florida would have like won it. No, and none of this, no disrespect to Alex.
No,
because
there's
like
none.
when you're playing with this roster disparity, like you have to take the advantages you can.
But
it feels like Florida just handed this game
for them. I hated Florida just lost. I really didn't feel like USF just beat them.
Yeah.
I feel like, if you don't have the spit in the face, if you don't have, 11 penalties?
11 penalty. That was the 11th penalty for 100 yards.
Gross. And a gross way to do it.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Can we, as a football collective, just stop spitting on people?
Yeah. It doesn't work. The worst part was you saw it 2 nights before. You saw one of the best defensive football players in the world get kicked out of a game. And then you're just like, love Jalen, I'm going to do it too.
It didn't cost his team, but it cost yours.
It could have. We were a delay away. Who knows?
Yeah.
Sorry to Cowboys fans. I have one in my life, and Wayne, buddy, I'm really sorry. I know that one hurt. So
Malcolm.
Yeah.
Oh, Malcolm. Wayne, I saw him earlier.
No, you're
said,
fine.
hey, bro.
Oh, it's all right.
Well, what's yours?
My love is for Syracuse head coach Fran Brown making his team do sprints after their 27-20 victory against UConn. That is some real shit if I've ever seen it. That is holding the standard high. And making men, and I appreciate it.
That's old school.
That's
like high school basketball.
That's
shit,
like 2-a-days. That's like I was alive for 2-a-days.
Yeah,
but we can't do those anymore.
Yeah,
I love it. Grown men making money out there running like it's JV.
Yep,
love it.
Yep.
And my hate. I mean, I'm just gonna say his name out loud. Like Brendan Bett, University of Florida, spitting on somebody at our grown age. I literally, spitting is the most disrespectful thing as a man that you can do. If a man spits on you, you automatically have to punch him in the face. It's just what it is. They don't have to hit you. If somebody spit on me, I'm punching them in the face. So that's my hate of the week. Brendan, I'm not sure who you are. Just be better for your family, bro.
Mm-hmm. Young Drew.
I'll bring up the rear. One thing that I loved this weekend, man, week 2 didn't disappoint. An overarching look at it, week 2 was supposed to be a pretty down week. I know we had texted even in the group chat about we can kind of get away with not watching this one, but I'll tell you, I was pretty happy with the fact that I set up 3 TV screens this week. It was a good week for college football, good week for my doors, but hey, more than that, like it was just a good football week to watch. I mean, you had some unexpected games that were close. You had the upset with South Florida and Florida. You had the Troy Clemson, which I don't think anybody expected to have that one on multi-view.
Yep.
You just had a lot of really, really fun, solid games. I know probably nobody watched this, but Army beat Kansas State. I mean, isn't that nuts? I mean,
is Kansas State on like 1-11 watch?
They may be on last year Florida State watch. Like actually, if that happens, then nobody's ever going to double again. That game gets canceled. Go ahead and throw that one out the window. It's not happening. Like nobody's ever going to take the risk. Like they're going to send like Delaware and Missouri State there next year for the opening Conference USA battle. But I'll go with my hatred, and that was that I kind of saw that two of my favorite personalities and head coaches are going to be irrelevant this year, completely irrelevant actually, and that is Deion Sanders and Mike Gundy. Because the Colorado Buffaloes had to go to their 3rd string quarterback to beat Delaware, and that doesn't bode well for going into conference play at all. So I'm sorry to all the people that I misled on this podcast saying that Colorado was going to make the college football playoff. They're going to struggle to make a bowl game. So speaking of another team, actually not going to struggle, a team that will not make a bowl game is the Oklahoma State Cowboys. This team is pathetic. And Mike Gundy has a history of doing this where he basically rolls over when he knows he can't beat a team. And I'm really sad because he might get fired from Oklahoma State and he may be coaching at Gardner-Webb next year. So, yeah, I hate to see 2 of my favorite coaching personalities. They're not going to be a factor in the college football landscape this year.
They sure aren't, buddy.
Brother. Did you guys, I guess like final thing, because he brought it up. Did y'all watch that game? Oklahoma State, Oregon?
Nah, man.
Dude, I mean, it looked like an NFL team versus a bunch of little league kids. Like it looked. Y'all seen that clip of Blooper from the Braves?
Yeah.
That's what this. It was just non-competitive.
After all the things Gundy said this week, the back and forth between him and Dan Lanning, but the beauty of the final score being 69 is going to be legendary.
Yeah,
69-3.
Nice.
69.
I've never felt better about a 28-point spread.
About
taking.
Yeah.
Oh, 28.5. I was like, but man, make it 38.5, man.
Dude, they could have made it. They could have made it 70.
You literally could have had a 50-point spread in a game in a P4 matchup.
Yeah.
That's so crazy to me. Wonderful. I know.
Kansas State, Oklahoma State might be for that game this year.
The toilet bowl.
Well, the toilet bowl, but it may be for whoever wins that will have one conference win on their schedule.
That's so gross to think about.
I mean, if Kansas State, I have more faith in turning it a little bit around. But seriously, Oklahoma State, they better circle that. I mean, it better be in Sharpie. That is your conference win chance this year.
I know, and you know what's funny?
They're going to put that.
If you were in a box, you're like I've been away from Earth for the last 3 weeks, and you're like, let me see Avery Johnson's stats. You'd be like 2-1 or 2-0, maybe
3-0,
3-0, maybe. No, atrocious.
I mean, barely winning over North Dakota. Dude, they're going to put Kansas State and Oklahoma State on Nickelodeon.
Bro, they have to do something. They have to do something.
They're gonna put that on the Simpsons View, bro, just to get somebody to watch it.
Nickelodeon, man.
Avery Johnson is a Nickelodeon character.
God,
oh
boy!
Can we get like SpongeBob and Patrick on the?
We are truly an hour and 35 minutes into this podcast.
We've been doing this too long.
It's gotten a little hot. We got to roll. Per usual, boys. Great time. Like and subscribe. Do all the podcast things we need you to do. This ball is rolling. We got a lot Thursday. We're going to have the Georgia side. Caleb is back on Thursday. We'll do the core 4. We love yins, and we out.